welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We are live. Welcome to the Shon Black Podcast. I'm your host, Shon Black, Daughter Mac. And welcome, peeps. We are out here. I know it might be a little bit loud, but I have my AC running. So if you hear a buzz, let me know. I'll turn it off. But yeah, the AC is running today. It's hot. Oh, wrong joint. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's hot today, and it is what it is. Hold on. And so today on the Shon Black Podcast, we're going to be talking about a few topics. It's Monday, the 18th. We're halfway through the month. We're halfway to June, and we're almost 6 months in. Can you believe that? Already 6 months down. 6 months gone, just like that. It's amazing, man. Sometimes it doesn't even feel real. You sit there and you're like, dang, where the heck did the time go? And especially when you look onto your Facebook pages and you see like your pictures of your kids and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, man, where the heck did the time go? Where the heck did that go? That joint just disappeared just like that. So I don't know. Sometimes it is what it is, but hey, man, we're gonna get through it. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk a little bit about some stuff that was on my mind. And I know a lot of times we're really light here on the Shon Black Podcast. We are super light here. We, like my man Steele said, man, we light like a Sprite here on the Shon Black Podcast. But today, I mean, we still gonna keep it pretty light. You know what I'm saying? We don't get too involved in the political scene anymore. I just don't see the need for it. Um, I know that on the political side we don't really get too deep into that, but today we're gonna be talking about Chud. Yo, Sean Gray, you see it, Stills. You see it, man. Salt and Pepper Black. I mean, we're gonna talk about a little bit about overseas living. We have been trying to get our move overseas and what that kind of looks like. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. And also, we're going to talk about this guy, Chud. I know we kind of touched on him on Friday, but I really want to go deep in the Chud. Chuddy! Chuddy! Chuddy the Builder. Chud! And first, before we get started, like and subscribe to the channel, please. Throw the likes up. And so first I wanted to get y'all to do that, and then let's get into it. Let's hop into it. The stream's not going to be too long, and I might start the stream earlier. Let me know if that's something you want to do. I was thinking about like an hour earlier. If not, if you like the time, if you like 7:30, that's what's up. I appreciate the love. Um, yeah, if you like it, let me know. If not, that's what's up. We can keep it the way it is. So, overseas living, pros and cons. Um, I'm a military kid. You know what I'm saying? My parents, we moved around a lot. And when I was younger, I didn't like it. I missed all of my family members back in New York. I always wanted to be where they was at. And so as a young person, I really didn't care for moving around like that. As I got older, I'd say when I was in my late 30s, I kind of realized like, yo, wait a minute. This living abroad is a little bit, it gives you a sense of, I don't know what the word is, but you feel more connected when you live overseas versus, it's sort of like Yo, you see it, man. Man, Sean Salt and Pepper, man. Great Black. Son, you see it, bro. Black getting older, man. The joint is crazy because I don't even feel like myself sometimes. I be looking at myself, I be like, man, I don't even feel like me. Like, yeah, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine this. This is it's wild. But I still feel like my same age. Like I still feel like I'm like black from like 99, 2000. You know what I mean? I was looking at some pictures the other way. Side note, I was looking at some pictures on I want to say it was Saturday or Sunday, and I found an old hard drive with like pictures in it. And bro, like son, the 35-year-old black compared to now is like night and day. Joint is wild. It's wild stuff. He said no salt and pepper, just salt. He said just salt. That joint is crazy. Yo, that's wild stuff. No, well, you know, so let me get back into it. Um, I so living abroad, I didn't like it when I was, out there doing it, and now as an older person, I appreciate it. I appreciate what it did because it allowed me to be able to talk about things that most people can't speak about, right? And so I also wanted to do that for my kids as well as give them that experience to live in a foreign country. It's kind of different when you live like if I move from here to Texas or I move from here to Missouri or I move from here to Alaska. I mean, it's different, but it's the same. But if I lived in Japan or Greece, Italy, or any of those places, you kind of get a different appreciation for the world, and your family gets a different appreciation for the world, right? And so I would think that the pros of that is that not only are you well traveled at some point, but you also your appreciation for the world grows. And not in a crazy way. It's just, you know what I'm saying? You can say, okay, yeah, you know what, I really enjoyed being, because it's different when you're on vacation versus when you get up every day and you have to be in the community. Like I get up, go on vacation, I can leave at some point. But when you're there for 3, 5 years, you kind of get an appreciation for what's going on. Like, you start to get to the people, and um, you know what I mean? It said they lived in Japan for 3 years, and yeah, I mean, because you get to understand the customs and the culture, and um, it's not only just about food, but it's just the way of life is either faster or slower. The way that you do things, and you start to become accustomed to what is going on. Even when you live on a military installation, um, there's nothing outside of that, right? So for me, living in Germany, my parents weren't in the military at that point. So we were DOD employees. Like my family was, working for the government, just like how I work for the government now. And doing that, you know what I'm saying? It's like you couldn't live during those times. You couldn't live on base, so you had to live outside of whatever post it is that you work on. You had to live outside of that. You couldn't live on base, depending on what bases that you were stationed at. So for me, most of my time in Germany was spent in what's called the economy. It's like you live next to German people. Now, mind you, there were other people who lived out on the economy too, who went to school with me, who went like they're Americans, but most of the people we lived around were Germans. So we got to learn, like, not the language really, but you had German friends, they spoke English. And then so, when one of them couldn't speak English, then the other ones would translate. And so you kind of build this family, this group of individuals, and then when you live on base, you know, everything outside of the base is German or Japanese. So the base becomes your family because none of the people that you went to school with prior to moving over there or living over there, they're not coming to see you. Most of the people say they come, but they're not gonna come. Right? So you develop a bond with folks that is unbreakable. Like some of the people, like my man George, he comes on here, son. I've known him since I was like 14, 13, 14 years old. Some of my German friends that I still communicate with on Facebook, I've known them for that about that long. And you just, it's just like this bond that you get that can only be, you can only get that from living overseas, right? And so I think everybody should, if you have the ability to do so, you should do so. I think that's probably one of the best experiences, and it doesn't even have to be anywhere far. I mean, you could go with all like, I mean, you could move to Guam, but Guam is kind of far. I ain't gonna front. Guam is far, but I mean, it's so American that it won't feel, even though it's far away. It's just American. It's like living in DR or living in, you know what I'm saying, out in Puerto Rico. Even though it's American, it's still, you know, you're still gonna get that closeness that you would get from living overseas. And so so for the pros, that would be like, you know, your family, more family oriented. You're closer with the people that you live around, um, because you kind of need each other, right? I would say the cons are, if there are any, and I would, you know, just off the top of my head, you know, you get a false sense of you need to get back. That's all people talk about when they live overseas, especially if they've been there for a while. If they've been if they've been there for a while, hold on, I have a caller come through. Caller. Oh, he hung up. Um, yeah.
Let's go, diver.
Hey, I am in the podcast right now. You talking about hell diving, and we talking about Chud.
Oh, that's what you're doing. You're over there online chimping out, huh?
I knew you
You're
were
over there chimping out, huh?
That's what you want to say.
You're over. All right, I am about to tune in, man.
All right. What? Yeah. See, so this is the sickness that's been going on, man. It's a sickness. So anyway, let me just get to the back to the pros and the cons. So people talk about leaving all the time. Once you're there overseas, you feel like you're missing out. Because make no mistake about it, living overseas is not it the stuff that you're regularly used to is not available. A lot of countries don't have what you have. And so, like, we were looking at going to Korea, South Korea. And so at looking at South Korea, like, you know, the water, you know, they talking about the water is hard. You got to put filters in the water because when you shower in the water, in and out. Do you see him? Do you see him in the chat? Do you see him? He's saying, I'm chipping out. No, I mean, so the water is hard over there. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you got to put, you know, as I'm looking at all the stuff that you have to do when you're over there, it's a lot different. The money is different. Um, People don't, you know, they drive cars, but a lot of people take public transportation. The cost of living is a lot cheaper. You know, people don't have like what you have and all this other kind of stuff. So it's yeah, definitely you have to get out the country and see things. I think people should live abroad for at least 5 years. At least 5 years. If you know, and I know it's scary. I know it's scary, right? I know it could get real crazy. I know it could get real scary, but um I believe if you really like trust yourself and do it, it'll probably be one of the best experiences that you ever have in your life. And that's just what it is. Like people got to understand that, sometimes you got to jump out on faith, bro. Sometimes you just got to jump out on faith. And if you do that, you should be good. So, I mean, take the chance. I guess the point is, in my opinion, you need to just take the chance. Take the chance to jump out there. Take the chance to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Make the move. It feels scary at first because you don't know what to expect. But take the chance. Do it. Jump out there. Find a place to go. If you can do a government job, that'd be cool. If you can't do a government job, go work abroad. Go find a way to work abroad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Start with something small. I mean, yeah, go somewhere like Japan. It's good. Like over in Japan, I think you can be like a teacher of some sort over there. And, working over there, I think it'll change your perspective on life depending on how you view things. I think you could really like get it in. I think you would really enjoy yourself if you was over there, and I think your family would enjoy it too. Um, I was disappointed that we weren't accepted to go, but I think the Lord has us where He wants us, and if He wants us to leave, He'll allow it. We do have some other things in the hopper, so that's loaded up, ready to go. So hopefully we'll be able to get those things. We'll be able to move on to other things. Um, But it was a disappointment because I think South Korea would have been really, really, really cool to do. I think so. For me, anyway, I would have enjoyed. I would have loved to go. I think the South Korea thing would have been really good. Also, so yeah, so that said, just go out and do it. That's what's up. Um, and I think you won't regret it. Now let's jump on to the topic that this last topic, because like today, like I said, I'm gonna keep it kind of short today. Um, we spoke a little bit about this dude, Chud the Builder. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, man, is because I think that Dalton needs to be spoken to directly. Like, I know, like, he might not ever see this. You know what I mean? But if he does, Dalton, brother, listen, you know, I respect the fact that you want to be a free speech warrior, man. I think that I think speech is important. I think that people need to be able to say and do whatever they want to. However, you just can't go places and run up on people telling them that they chimping out. You can't tell people that you call people the N word and tell them like, yeah, look at him, he's going to chimp out. He's going to chimp out. So you know what's going to happen, son? You won't get the chimpanzees. See, that's what happened to you, bro. You got the chimpanzees. He went this son, and now you in the can, so now you gotta fight for your very existence. They are gonna put their hands on you. And it's not Dalton's fault. See, this movie, this whole thing, this movement of this thing with the chimps and all this other kind of stuff, bro, this has been online for a minute. This old chimping out joint has been online for a long minute. Like, it's been a minute. And so you got to really remember what you really getting into. Like when you talking about the whole thing, he is just one person that was actively like now you can actually see him. But bro, if you go back and look, this has been for like the last since like during COVID. I would say like during the COVID times, that I think that's what things started really getting crazy. When you started seeing the 19, when 19 was out, that's when it really started getting crazy. That's when you really started to see what was happening with, this dude, the builder, and all of the stuff that he was talking about. You know what I mean? But it wasn't him. It was a whole bunch of like when you go and look online, right? And you look at like the comments that people make, especially when you see like, that it concerns black people in crime. And you look at most of the posts are anonymous, and the ones who aren't anonymous are like influencers in that genre, or or the people are from out of the country, like they're from India, they're from Pakistan, they're from the Middle East, and all of these places. So the audience that he appeals to, yes, there are some in the United States, but a lot of that stuff is overseas. A lot of that stuff is in countries that, frankly, that we talk about. Oh yeah, saying they're just like us, and they're the ones online saying the stuff that they're saying, man. No, we've gotten conditioned in a way, like we've conditioned ourselves to think that every Chud the Builder, that's all the people that are doing it is just the people like him, like they look like him, they are him. And when you kind of really scan through it, it's really he is a small portion of what the like in that space. A lot of that stuff comes from other people outside of the people that you think they are. Blame the streaming service. How can you get banned for saying certain words and have an entire stream about it? No, that's true. That's true. You look, bro. I can come on here if I say pew pew but the other word, if I say 19 but the other word, if I say um if I say unalive but the other word, son, they gonna make sure that nobody sees the stream. You can't even see, you gotta say corn instead of the other word. So you don't get flagged. But the builder, oh man, he could tell people they're all kinds of chimpanzees and all kinds of stuff and hard R on the N word and all that kind of stuff, and nothing's gonna happen to him. But and that's why they like they were emboldening him, and as he started to gain popularity and get money, bro, there was nothing going to stop him. And make no mistake, there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more of him because the audience that he thinks he's catering to, those people don't live here in the country. Now, do some of them live here? Of course. I would say probably maybe 20% live here. The rest of them are out of the country, bro. And a lot of them, like you see the joints, it be like Bangladeshi flags and Mexican flags and you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of flags from the Middle East and all that. All these people, then they talking about, yeah, look at them, usual suspects and all this other kind of crazy stuff. But bro, they've learned that, and it's easier for them to take those positions because those are the people who they think hold all the power, right? So why would I align myself with you? People from all of these different countries, why would they align themselves with us? They like and I'm not speaking as us as, but they you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't align themselves with you. They'll try to do anything to try to be accepted into these groups. And bro, so they'll blame this person, they'll blame that person, they'll say this and they'll say that, and it'll be about this and it'll be about that, and most of it. And I think a lot of people get a bad rap. Son, I believe that a lot of people get a bad rap. Like I always tell you, and I've said this before on previous pods. Yeah, they believe it, bro. And I've said this on previous pods back in the day when I used to do political thing. You know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that I run into doesn't come from the people that you think. It comes from the people that are supposed to be that look just like me. The brown skins that you think are like that are like us. Son, and they treat you horribly. Horribly. But the guys that look like Chud the Builder, son, they bringing you to the crib. They putting you up on game. They adding value to you, showing you how to get value. While the other cats, they ain't trying to do none of that. You go out there and try to get you a job in a Spanish spot. That ain't happening, bro. Try to do something in a all, you know what I'm saying, Asian spot. You see what I'm saying? So I think that people like Chud. So yeah, bro, you think people like Chud don't be, well, for real? Look at what the lady that we had the thing with the lady from some African country, how she was treating the dude down the street, saying the craziest stuff. And so people be like, and so my perspective is a little bit different than everybody else's because I experience it different. Not to say that it doesn't happen the other way. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the people that he thinks his audience is the people that he wants to cater to. And I'm saying that the audience that he thinks he's catering to is not the audience that he thinks it is. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm coming from with it. It's not the same audience. The people he thinks it is ain't the people that he thinks it is. And I know I hear stuff going off in my headset. If you're commenting, I haven't seen it come through yet. But what do we? So we can't just talk about it. How do we combat that? Right? How do we as a people, and not people like a race of people, but a group of people, a collective people, how do we as a collective people change that narrative, right? How do we fight all that? The goal is, well, in my opinion, how you do it is you just kind of just move on. It's got to be non-effect. Like, not everything deserves a response. You know, it's interesting. The trial is going to come up, and we're going to cover it here on the pod because it's interesting, right? Just like we're going to cover the Camelo joint when that joint pops out. We're going to be doing updates, and hopefully we'll be able to take some of it live on days like if I'm off, I'm going to take it live, maybe during the day. But the way that you combat that, right, is you have to just kind of move past whatever that is, because it's never going to stop. You know, here in this part of the country, it's never going to stop. But what I'll tell you is that you think it's bad here, bro. Go overseas. Go overseas. It's crazy overseas, bro. It's crazy. And then now with mass migration, oh, it's insane overseas. Insane. So, you know, it's not a one-off. It's just not here in America. It's everywhere. You know, people act like they're gonna tell them you're never gonna do it, because people are fallen human beings. Their state is a fallen state, like Jesse says, right? you're in a fallen state. You're never going to eradicate it because people are evil. You're just not going to. You can't. There are people who treat people a different way because that's just the way they grew up. Like, for example, I know somebody who talked about a caste system. They weren't allowed to marry a certain person because they were in a different caste system than they were. Mainly that they were probably too dark. They weren't allowed to marry that person because they weren't in the same caste system. That is still going on today. You're not stopping. You're not stopping it. You just have to live your life, and you cannot be bogged down with the nonsense. See, the psyop really is that you think as a collective people, we think, okay, we should be able to shut that down. So you never shutting that down. That's not ever happening. It's never going to happen. You're never changing that. The only way you change it, and you can't even really change the narrative, right? But the only way that you can kind of combat it a little bit is that everybody that you deal with and all the people that you deal with, as far as your family and friends, they have to understand where it is and they have to actively be doing things different than they did before. Right? Successful individuals combat that. And even at the successful level, you still gonna have that stuff because this is how people were brought up, and you cannot change how people were raised. You can't do it. So why try? Because they're going to continue to raise the Daltons of the world. Are going to continue to do that. The Chuds, the Nick Fuentes's, and all of these individuals who have been doing this stuff for ages and ages. So it's never stopping. It doesn't matter what people do. You can't change people. Only people can change themselves. And he said these hands, chimpanzees can change them. Can't they? You wanna go full chimp. Yeah. Yeah. Man, look, you can't change somebody's perspective. They have to change their own perspective on it. And it's not just black it's not just black racism. I mean, it's with anything. You know what I mean? Right. So you had that fight that happened at the Navy Yard. Every person who has an ill will, or is taught that black people are this or that. That's what you want me to do. And you want me to do it live, don't you? You want me to woo, 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 woo. That's what you want me to do live. The chimpanzees. That's what you want. As you giving Dalton these hands, you want to go woo, 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 woo. You're sick. You're sick. Yeah, he said influence at the steakhouse. Let me tell you. Um, I need. Look at these shipping out. Look at them. You want me to chip out? I'm gonna tell you, and also people got to remember that now today, that kind of content is big business and big money. There was a chick that I was following on X, and her content was dope. Like, she was funny. She's a Jewish chick, and she was just funny, right? So I was like, oh yeah, I like this chick. So she be giving out the business. She be handing out the business. So I followed her on X, and I believe she still follows me. I'm not sure, but after a while, her posts weren't really like catching nobody's attention and all of that. She wasn't really getting a lot of like likes and whatnot. And then she went into the game where you post things about black people and different races of folks. And, you know, look at them, usual suspects, all that kind of stuff. And she started getting, you know, lots of likes and people liking and all that. And she kept going and kept going and kept going. And then one day I hit up, I was like, bro, like, man, your joint used to be edgy and funny. Now the joint is just sad. You know what her response was? I just post what I like. I just post what I want. And at that point, you knew what it was about. You knew it was about trying to gain some sort of popularity. And I think a lot of these people that you hear or see them on these posts and they talking this crazy stuff, and you know, they really like this dude Dalton really isn't about that life. He really not about that life. Son, he backed out, son. They said allegedly that he was in the scissor position. He was in the scissor position with his hand on his weapon before the altercation even took place. So that tells me right then and there that he was already looking to do what he was going to do, but the influence, the money took him there, bro. The fame of it took him there. This dude was having homosexual encounters with a black person dressed like a fairy. He had all kinds of stuff going on with black folk. Then all of a sudden he hates them. Come on, man. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And then what happened? He wound up chimping out. The same thing he talked about chimping out. He wound up chimping out. He was a victim of his own. He was a victim of his own philosophy. Keeping you cool. The black man always goes out and he doesn't have he can't contain himself. He's getting mad. Look at him chimp out. And now you in jail because that's exactly what you did. You became exactly what you say you hated. So my message for Dalton is this, bro. You're going to learn some hard lessons if they lock you up. You're going to learn hard. You're going to learn the absolute hard way. You're going to learn that the people that you think that you cool with, those are the people they're going to give you the business. Any of y'all seen Blood In, Blood Out? Y'all seen American Me? Who's the people that attack Son in the showers? They going to give you this work. Now the black guys in there probably give it to you too, but the ones that's gonna give it to you is gonna be the ones that, you know. And you're gonna learn the hard way. And when you get out, don't harbor any ill will. Take that as a learning lesson. Drift quietly off into the sunset. You know, start you a business where nobody knows you. Preferably drop shipping or something. Make some bread and continue to just move along. Because if what they're saying about you is true, you're going to do some time, brother. You're going to do some time. The time is going to be hard, but you're going to do it. And there's nothing that you can do about that. You're going to do that time. And so Chud the Builder and anybody that's like Chuddy, don't get caught up. Don't let the money fool you. Don't let it fool you because he's one of the ones that, you know, he got away with a little something. and he wound up being able to clap out, and they going to take him to jail for doing so. But don't be the one on the other end of that, because people not dealing with the nonsense. You bother the right person on the wrong day who just decided that, today I'm with it. Today, you know what I'm saying? Like that song that I got time today. Somebody going to say, you know what? Life hasn't been treating me fair. I feel like I'm not getting the raise I deserve at the job. My girl isn't responding the way I want her to respond. The pressures of life and groceries and all of that kind of stuff is weighing down on me. And you're going to run into the right person, bro, and they're going to have that time. And the unfortunate things are going to happen to you. Don't be the unfortunate person. Leave folks alone. Don't get in their faces. Don't get, you want to be a free speech joint? You don't have to go up to people and just say what you want online. Get you a little podcast and go out there and just say what you want. Huh? Do that. That's right. You people tired, bro, in traffic. They in traffic all day. They tired. You know what I'm saying? Their kids not listening. Their husband or their wife isn't listening. They don't feel appreciated in life. They don't feel appreciated at the job. They don't feel appreciated. You know what I'm saying? And then the next thing you know, as they're walking down the street, you going to say, look at you, N-word. Look at you. I bet you if I call you that, you going to chimp out. And dudes going to weigh it. And they going to say, you know what? I got time. I got time. And they're going to crash all the way out. And it's going to be your fault. They're going to give them the chimpanzees. Shirt coming soon. Chimpanzees. Coming soon. And you hate to see it coming, but that's exactly what's going to happen to the adulty and the rest of them. Dudes is going to catch you. Like right now, then you walking around with bodyguards and all of this stuff, your family, and you blaming others. You blaming other people because you did the wrong thing. You blaming people because you did the wrong thing. Mad because you did it. It was your fault. You're the guy. And people saying, you know what? Enough is enough is enough is enough. People had enough. They like, man, I can't take no more of this. I'm about to get busy. So my advice to you, Dalton, and all the other people like that want to be Dalton, Chuddy, leave folks be. So much other stuff that you could do in life. Get a hobby. And I think the streaming thing is great. You got enough people on your joint now, you could just go around and talk about. Then you know what you could have did? You could have went ahead and looked and said, look at these guys. They look like they going to chimp out. But you kept it to yourself and you're only speaking to your IRL people. And you could have did that. But you running into the right people. You got people that was looking to run into you. That was like, yo, bro, I run into son. He is going down. You don't want that kind of problem, bro. Like, there's people out there that will really throw it at you. There are people out there that don't care that you got weapons. That they said that when they had theirs, they didn't stop making them when you got yours. That you're not built out of Kevlar. Okay? You need to really chill out. So if you survive this thing in court and all that, and you are fortunate enough to come home, I have a suggestion for you, Paul. I suggest you just cool out. I suggest you cool out. I suggest you cool out. And I'm gonna attempt a phone call, and if this person picks up the horn, I'm gonna get his perspective. And we're gonna see if he picks up the phone. He might not, but if he does, I want to see his perspective. Hey, Des, caller, what's up, man? Tell me. I know I called you, but give me your perspective on this dog.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
If you can hear me, I cannot hear you.
All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll
If you can hear me, I cannot hear you.
we will hold on 1 second. Can you hear us now?
Hello.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear now.
All right. All right. So we want your perspective.
Yeah, he's going to get these chimpanzees. That's my perspective. He's going to get these chimpanzees. And I don't care about the rehabilitation, none of that. Okay? I don't care about none of that, man. Because people like this are the scar that America has and has had for a long time. But it's always been there. It's just it's more cameras now, and people are able to see it. People are able to talk about it. Because racism doesn't happen to everybody. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have experienced racism. But yeah, man, it's people like this that's out there, and they are out there. And see, the thing that makes me take heed is it's not the people that are loud about it. It's the people that think the way that he's thinking, but are quiet about it. The doctors, the police, the judges, the people that you interact with every day, the people that you trust to process your paperwork. There are a ratio of those people that feel just like him, that feel exactly like him. The thing about it too, for all of the streamers, was look, man, you can get canceled, banned on all these platforms for saying certain words, whatnot. This dude had a whole stream, like his whole entire stream was being racist. So again, it goes back to the system, man. The system of streaming. The higher ups don't care. There is a person who has power that could have pressed the button to shut him down, and they chose not to. Okay? So these are the things, bro. But speaking about him personally, yeah, just put him in general population. That's all.
What
Just put him there.
do you think that the people who had the button chose not to because of money or
I
personal
mean,
feelings?
I mean, to be honest, we'll never know because those people are not on the screens. Those people are not out in the open. See, it's always a puppeteer and there's always the puppet. He was just a puppet, and not saying that people put him up to it or people did all that. He did all of that himself. but the puppeteer will never be shown. The puppeteer could have took the puppet off. They could have pressed the button. They press the button all day on common people like just like you and me. The people who are trying to make it in the streaming game. You yourself have listed all the words that you can't say. But again, this dude's whole entire stream was that. But it's okay because people are free of choice, but no man is free of consequences. His consequence will be he needs to be a general population.
Do you think that they'll put him into general population, or will he just be in PC for the rest of his time there?
To be honest, man, I don't think he's a big enough name to be. See, once you're in jail, okay, yeah, they're gonna separate him. But if the charges are what they are and he gets found guilty, he's going to prison. And in general population is people like that who have attempted murder charges, who have murder charges.
You can't say those words. You have to say unalive. You have to say unalive.
Oh, yeah. See, it's just like that. Like, yo, it's crazy. We got to watch our tongue, but this man, he didn't have to. He didn't have to. And that's what's crazy. But no, I think that when he's in jail, yes. But when he gets to prison, it's going down. And then plus, there's going to be guards that want that to happen. People think that these COs and all that are there to protect you and do all that. No, they're regular people with feelings who work a 9 to 5 as well. And they got keys, and they can take you out of your cell and put you in this cell if they so choose. So, yeah, man. The consequences need to be these chimpanzees.
That's all you want to say is chimpanzees.
Son, because people don't realize, bro, there's really like, I know that you see it on like the news, you see it's either you're an extreme right or extreme left, and then throughout the years you've seen riots, and people always wonder why those riots happen, and then it becomes a talking point. But there are actual real people like him in this world and all over the world, not just inside this country, but all over the world for many different reasons. Look, if everybody on the planet Earth was the same exact color, there would be people who hate you because you're taller than them. You're shorter than them. If everybody was the same exact height on the earth, somebody would hate you because you talk like this or you don't talk like this. There will always be hate. However, when it comes specifically to this subject, you have to realize that he is just one of the outspoken ones. Now, my question to you is, which one is more threatening? Is it the racist who is outspoken and who has that type of audacity? Or is it the racist that is quiet and that is sitting beside you during the train rides, during your doctor's checkup, during your administrative work? Which one of those is more threatening? That is the question that people have to ask themselves.
I think for me, I don't think about it either. I personally, now because I understand that there are some like they're there, but they have no like they. I knew when I went down to South Carolina and I saw all of the abandoned southern towns as you riding through all these towns in the deep south, that it was never going to rise again. That's a pipe dream. And so,
Mhm.
for me, in two parts. One, I don't really think about it like in those contexts, even when faced with it. Like I said, I'm faced with it more from people who don't look like Dalton. But two, to answer your question, it for me, I would rather not see the Daltons of the world. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you hate me, just hate me, but do all your thing on your own. I don't really care to know from you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because knowing that you do it, it doesn't really change my perspective. But then I'm like, ugh, this guy, this guy over here, because most of those people are miserable, bro. Look,
Mhm.
when you like, so you could be a bigot, right? There's a difference between a
Mm.
bigot and a racist, but
Yep.
you could be a bigot, right? Oh, I like some of you, not all of you. You know, the ones that do the right things. Those are the ones I like. I don't like all. You could be that guy. Or you could be the guy that just says, "Hey, I don't like any of you. You disgust me. You make me sick." Um, to me, right? There's more of that goes on than there is of the all out. And I believe the thing with the
Good.
dog, I think the Chud the Builder thing, I think that was just an act anyway. You know, this is what I always tell people, man. People who truly dislike a race of individuals, they don't have anything to do with them at all, at any time, ever.
Mhm.
This dude was,
And that man was a he was a fairy.
he had the wings on and all of that. And so I to me personally, I just think that he found a lane to make money, and he just made, and he was doing it to make bread, and he got caught up. It's like the person who pretends that there's something that they're not, and then by the time they figure out, it's already too late. They don't went to jail, but they never were really that person in the first place. They
Mhm.
never were the hard type. They never were the gang type. They never were, they never were that type. But they did that because that's what they thought was the popular move. And I think that's what this Dalton dude is. I think he thought that was, because he's talking about, oh, you over there with the black. He's telling the girl, you with the black man. You over there. You're a mud shark. But then he was with the black chick, and then the other black chick that he thought was a chick was a dude that he was messing with.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't compute. You either dislike the people or you don't dislike the people, and I don't think that he really disliked the people. I think he found a lane. He saw an idea and he just ran with it, and it started making money, and then he couldn't stop. Right? He just, man, I'm just gonna get this bread. And then now he can't stop doing what he's doing because he has no choice now. He's too deep to say he's changed. He's too deep in.
Yep.
There's too much money being spent. He's going to the can, and if he gets convicted, you know what I mean? If he gets
Yep.
convicted, then it's over at that point. Like it's over. He's never coming out. There's, and if he does get out, he's got to survive while he's in there. So it's finished. He's finished. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah, man.
appreciate the. Hmm.
It's a it's a it's a sad thing, man. And to all the people that are listening, man, just try to talk to people you don't regularly talk to, man. If you're from the country, go to the city and just have a conversation. If you're from the city, go to the country and just have a conversation.
Oh yeah, I think
If
that's where
dudes
it
is
starts.
black, go find a white dude to go have a conversation with. If dudes
Hmm.
is white, go find a black dude to go have a conversation with. learn something. And it goes back to the point of traveling outside the country. It's the same point. Go and see things you don't normally see. Go have conversations with people you don't normally conversate with. Guess what? You might learn something. You
Yeah.
just might learn something.
Yeah, you just might
You
learn about the people that you're dealing with.
you just might learn something, man. But yo, I'm about to go eat dinner. I'm about to have a bowl full of bananas and go chimp out.
Bowl full of bananas.
I'm about to go
You
chimp
about to
out.
chip out.
Son, I'm telling you, if I would have seen that man walking, bro, every fist that I would have swung, I would have been making monkey noises.
Yeah, you gotta make the monkey
Like,
noises if you see him. Woo, woo, woo!
all right, I'm going, man. I'm going.
That was
I'm out
crazy.
of here.
That was crazy. That's crazy. I'm out, man. All right, y'all.
Tripping out.
Take care of yourselves and others. Peace and love. We probably won't be back on Wednesday. We'll be doing our thing on Friday. Wednesday we're gonna skip it. We're gonna skip this Wednesday. But Friday we'll be on. Um, make sure you watch your shows. Bring me what you got. Um, shout out to Funny Bob for being on the channel tonight. Anytime you guys want to be on 804-410-45